Ash Ketchum's journey has been finished for quite some time now, but let's see if he can beat Pokemon Legend ZA and reach rank A as well as save the city. Honestly, that's like a regular day for Ash now that I think of it. The rules for this video are I have to catch all of Ash's Pokemon available in this game aside from ones I can't get, like multiple starters. Wait, you can get multiple starters, just in the post game. I have to match the amount of Pokemon I bring to an important fight with the amount the opponent has. And I can only use the moves that Ash's Pokemon have in the anime. For that, I'll just be using Bulbapedia as my source as I haven't watched the entire anime and I don't know if I'll ever get to it. Sorry, Ash. Additional rules include no held items aside from Megas, and yes, I do mean that with an S, plural, no healing in battle, and I must abide by a level cap. So can Ash Ketchum reach the top of the ranks and save the city? Let's find out. Ash has black hair and brown eyes, so this will have to do for now. Of course, Lumiose is going through some trouble right now with Mega Evolution, so I, Ash Ketchum from Pallet Town, have to deal with all of this on my vacation. For now though, I'm just relaxing, reminiscing on the good old days. You know who I am? I'm Ash from Pallet Town in the Kanto region. You want to come with me? I actually need one of you. I guess I'm gonna have to find a different fletchling. From there, we meet Tawnie, who can actually give us our first Pokemon. And oddly enough, Ash has had all 3 of these guys. Before we can pick one of them up though, a stinky Pancham robs the world champ himself, but let's say hi to the locals first. Hi, I'm Ash from Pallet Town in the Kent. All of these are great encounters. The problem is Totodile never actually evolved, and Chikorita and Tepig are in the same boat. They both stop at their middle evolution, aka they peaked in high school. My thoughts here are Bayleaf, because we don't get another grass type in this game, whereas we get a very good fire type, as long as he listens to me. And we get a ton of fighting types. In fact, one of them is extremely good with Mega Evolution. So as much as I want Tepig, Chikorita, you won't be boxed today. Today, you will actually be useful for a change. Sort of. Your moveset is really bad, but it'll have to do. There's just one thing left to do. Get a female, because Ash had a female. Okay, we got a female. By getting our belongings back, Tawnie forces a fist bump on us. Chocola. I don't fist bump unless it's Misty, or Serena, or Dawn, or May. Oh, it waddle. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, it fist bumped me. Unless it's Chikorita either. Soon after, we run into some guys who want to battle us, and I guess they don't know who I am, or do they? You see? They're just scared in my presence. That wasn't Floette at all. They're just scared of the frickin' legend, Ash Ketchum from Pallet. I'm sorry, guys. I really am. Like, I'll catch you once I've reached rank A, okay? Sorry. Well, this will have to do. No Misty, but I'm not sure why I'm forced to join Team MZ. I don't do teams. In fact, the closest team I've ever been a part of is Team Rocket. But hey, if it gets me closer to Tawnie, so be it. Oddly enough, our first real fight is lost, as Tawnie has 2 Pokemon and we have, well, 1. I tried to dodge as much as possible, but this Tepig has some range and Chikorita can only use 1 move right now. Honestly, it's like Ash to lose a fight, and the game doesn't make me retry, so on we go. Where this Tawnie girl leads us on top of a roof just to jump off because we couldn't just climb over some rocks. Or better yet, use a Pokemon with Rock Smash. You've been living in the city for a while now. I know you have one. This girl's crazier than Misty. She just jump all the way down there? I'm Ash from Pallet Town. I'm Ash from Pallet Town. I can do anything. I'm Ash from Pallet Town. I can do anything. I can do anything. I can do anything. I can do anything. I'm Ash from Pallet Town. Oh my god! We actually come up on our second Pokemon of the run, Fletchling. And Fletchling is a pretty mediocre encounter because we have a pretty bad moveset. Ash's Talonflame only gets Flame Charge for a Fire-type move, and for some reason, it's not in this game. Either way, we also caught a Weedle, but Beedrill I think he gave away, and it only got Twin Needle. So yeah, that thing is fodder. From here we meet Mabel, who wants us to carry out our research for her, and I am the perfect guy for the job. Let me tell you something, Mabel. I once caught 30 Tauros. How does that sound to you? Does that sound like somebody you want on your team? We meet Naveen outside and we see he has a Scraggy. I mean, Ash had a Scraggy, so I could just steal this guy from Naveen. Maybe in this universe, Ash could officially be a part of Team Rocket. I mean, we're already a part of a team I didn't want to be a part of anyways. This hat's okay, but it doesn't scream Ash Ketchum. Then we run into a very special encounter, Pichu. Now, it's not a Pikachu, let alone the best Pikachu on the planet, but since it evolves by friendship, we can get this fellow right now. And we're gonna need it, as our level 9 cap prevents our first 2 Pokemon from defeating Zack against his 3. So what did I do to try and beat him? Raise Pichu's friendship with no benches and no coffee, since we have access to neither of those right now, which I did not know. Believe it or not, this is super hard to do without either of those, as the only other way to raise friendship I think is just walking around, and that takes way too long. But then I figured out we could find feathers and EV reducing berries on the floor in this area, which raise friendship little by little. Only problem? This also takes an extremely long time. But it was better than walking around with Pichu, if that even raises the friendship. Battling, I guess, also raises friendship, but that would overlevel us. The issue here is that there's only a certain amount of items on the floor, as we're restricted from leaving this area, and they are very rare spawns. Not only that, but there's a timer on these items for them to respawn. Now, could I realistically beat this fight if I got lucky enough? Maybe? No, I don't think so. But either way, what's a true first promotional fight without my prized possession? Pikachu. We have to get him. This took me, no joke, 3 hours to do. But finally, we evolved Pikachu. Kind of. Now, did Ash evolve the Pichu into the Pikachu? No. But we gotta work with what we gotta work with. Pikachu! This is a female Pikachu. No. Ash's Pikachu is a male. How did I not notice? It's been like 3 hours. No, that took so long. No. Yes, guys, the Pichu I caught was in fact a female. I'm a straight idiot, just like Ash. Ash is pretty stupid though, let's be real. I'm really sinking in the part here. There we go. That is a boy. God damn it. See you guys in 2 hours. Okay, maybe not. This next run for berries and feathers took even longer than the last. I was just not getting feathers or these EV reducing berries. Guys, I'm getting so unlucky with the feathers and the berries. 17 orns. 30 Rost? Oh my gosh. Citrus, 17. No Kelpsies. I have no feathers. All I've gotten is like tiny mushrooms. How much does this yield me? 18 grand? Oh my gosh. Holy, I'm rich. I haven't even done my first promotional fight. At this rate, I'm gonna be a millionaire before I get a Pikachu. After 1 whole hour, I finally got a Hondu. Jeez. I got 3 Kelpsie berries. The first time that I've gotten a muscle feather. Finally, dude. On and off, it's been about 3 hours. I got so unlucky. Fucking evolved this thing. Holy shit. Ash doesn't curse, but he's about to. There he is. Look at that straight tail. With my strongest Pokemon obtained in the anime, I took on Zach. Chikorita, go! All right, Chikorita, use your tackle attack, even though you have, you know? Nice miss. Now we just tackle with Chikorita. Pikachu, use Thunder Shock. I need a Thunder Shock. Pikachu, go. No, it didn't. Good job, Pikachu. Quick attack. Pikachu, return. I messed up pretty bad there. Fletchling is unable to battle. Quick attack. Boom. Now Chikorita should be able to finish this up. As long as we don't get... Well, there we go. And Ash is the victor. Only took me like 6 hours to get a Pikachu because I messed up. Honestly, I think I needed Pikachu for that fight. As always, Brock would be feral if he met Emma. With the cap opening up to 16, I continue on following Tawnie to our deaths. Man, I need one of these Rotom phones in real life. They're so advanced. You're telling me they literally saved me from falling to my death? Oh, I got a phone for you. Is it a Rotom phone? No, it's better than a Rotom phone. What could possibly be better than a Rotom phone? The Red Magic 11 Pro, that's what. Red Magic was kind enough to send me their next-gen gaming phone for you hardcore gamers out there. Now, this might not save you from fall damage, but depending on how you look at it, it might save your life. The Red Magic Pro 11 is a beast of a gaming phone, and it sure delivers on all fronts for the best gaming experience possible. We have 16 gigabytes of RAM, 512 gigabytes of storage, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, which has 30% more GPU power and 20% more CPU power than the previous gen. Liquid cooling is on the back with wireless charging compatibility with fast charging. And it's super thin and light and has a super premium feel to it. And it's not just those specs that make it a beast of a phone. Look at this silver finish. So sleek. But if you don't want that, they do have 2 other versions, a black one and one without the liquid cooling showing for a more simpler look. We even have a headphone jack, which I appreciate so much. You don't see that very often these days. I couldn't wait to set this bad boy up to test all the games that I was going to use it for. So I downloaded all my emulators and booted up some good old out Pokemon Alpha Sapphire, and it was of course running buttery smooth. And it looks amazing too, scaled up 3 times, thanks to that beautiful AMOLED at 144Hz display. It even handled PS2 at twice the resolution with no hitches. Good old Ratchet and Clank. You can also stream games, whether that be your PS5 or from your PC. Maybe now I'll be able to finish Oblivion in bed. This phone is perfect for me as I don't have to lug around a handheld and a phone, as it's all in one package right here. The Magic 11 Pro also has a 7500 milliamp hour battery, and guys, this thing was not dying. I left it in sleep mode for a literal week before it died. It might not be able to save me from fall damage, but it sure can save itself. I've never played Pokemon Unite before, but this made me try it out, and there was no lag with that 5G Wi-Fi. The liquid cooling is great too, and not just the aesthetic, but the actual cooling made this phone, well, cool. It wasn't burning my hands at all. Can a Rotom phone do that? Probably, but this is real life, and this is the closest thing we're gonna get to it. I can guarantee by picking this beast of a phone up, you won't be disappointed in the slightest, aside from maybe not protecting you from fall damage. Technology just isn't there yet. But get yours now by checking the link in the description or in the pinned comment. Ah, Grisham is there. Look at him. Oh, look at his face. He's like, these kids don't even know. Now, one of the key components to this game is the move Protect. And believe it or not, I can't find any Pokemon of his that use this move. So we're locked out of that very important move for the entire run. Thanks, Ash. Our next stop was Wild Zone 14, as in here, we can find a Ghastly. Now, I could actually wait until I do the quest to catch a Gengar, but considering Pikachu was caught as a Pichu, that seems pretty inconsistent, so I ended up catching it now. Meanwhile, in the fight against Bunnelby, I nearly lost it due to the lack of moves I have right now, thanks to the cooldown. And after that, we got access to clothing stores, so it's time to really get into the part of Ash Ketchum. We could do a lot with Ash, as he changes his clothes almost every season, but we're just gonna go OG. But to be honest, this was super difficult to customize. I could not find clothes that looked like his OG design. I was searching for a whole hour and a half. In the end, I went with this hat, this jacket, which I think is a girl's jacket, some green girl gloves, blue jeans, and these shoes have too much red, but hey, the more I walk around, the more I feel like Ash Ketchum. I can't get his hair or his bag, but this is as close as I'm gonna get. Now I'm really ready to lose all my fights. We had to do some quests to continue, and one of them was super enticing. You're familiar with how Pokemon evolve? They transform? Not really. I'm not really familiar on how Pokemon evolve, to be honest with you. Like, I could have evolved Pikachu a long time ago, just haven't done it. Please give me a Pikachu. A Pikachu? What do you say, Pikachu? You want to go with this lady? All right. If you're gonna give me a Heracross, I'm sorry, Pikachu. We've been together for so long, but I just don't want you anymore. And I would love a Heracross. Bye, Pikachu. See you later, loser. How'd you get it to evolve? What? You're much better than that loser Pikachu. Guys, I'm just kidding. I would never trade my little Pikachu away. I love you, little guy, even though you thundershocked me. And we can finally continue after all those shenanigans, and we start destroying trainers in the Royale. And in doing so, Chikorita evolved into its final evolution. It's the end of the line for you, girl. Bayleaf, you have peaked in high school. You are going to stay like this for the rest of your life. With Bayleaf in its prime, I take on Yvonne, and I don't think this is the same Bayleaf Ash had in the anime. How are you struggling with a Spritzy? And this Swirlix was doing crazy work on Pikachu as well. Only Fletchling was left for Vivian, and if I just had some more moves, this dumb bug would be dead right now. But I gave it one more go, dodging any attacks I could. Although this time, Bayleaf couldn't even make it past Spritzy. Are we for real right now? Either way, thanks to Pikachu being fast, we were able to avoid Swirlix's tackles and make it past that to take on Vivian. Pikachu did enough for Fletchling to win this, but to be honest, it was still pretty close due to our bird only having Peck and not being able to dodge. But hey, Ash's fights are always this close, right? Upon reaching rank Y, Fletchling evolves into Fletchinder, which to be honest, isn't much better, as I realized here we're stuck with Peck until the 30s when I get Steel Wing. Safe to say Pidgeotto is going to be replacing this guy, and as for the fire typing, I think we all know who we'll be getting later. I mean, he couldn't even finish off Scraggy for fuck. Again, Pikachu has to save the day in this early game, dodging a Rock Tomb with our quick attack, which was pretty hype. And from there, I go ahead and catch this Pidgeotto on top of a roof, who thankfully I did manage to catch. The game should get easier from this point forward, right? Oh, come on! Zavi has 4 Pokemon, which is perfect, as I just got my 4th Pokemon. And honestly, I'm almost positive I could get a Lucario at this point, but I just didn't know. Either way, I was having some trouble with this fight, and it's just because this Furfrou he has all these Fang moves for coverage. At the very least, Pidgey does have 3 whole moves to work with, so it's definitely doable. Basically, I need to dodge rollouts from Venipede to take it out safely, and Kadabra comes out next. It does set up a Reflect, but Kadabra is super weak defensively. Great. Good job, Bayleaf. What the hell? Little dancey dance. And Roselia is easy, but there's no dodging that magical leaf. And finally, Furfuro. The idea here is to avoid a takedown. Avoid a Fire Fang. Quick attack. Gonna bite. Gonna Thunder Shock. Eat that, and then it's gonna go for takedown again. We actually got a para. Okay, I think we win this. Paralyzed. Pidgeotto! Use your wing attack. Bam! It's gonna go for Thunder Fang. It's gonna go for a nice little takedown. It's gonna go for Bite Gust. Okay. And now we just have Bayleaf. We should do it up. A Fire Fang, which we dodge. Razor Leaf! After reaching rank W, we beat Lyda in a battle, and we can get another encounter from there. I think we're about to get someone very special. Oh, there it is. Now the question is, who's it gonna be? All right, Squirtle. Not you. It has to be Charmander. Charmander's the only one that's fully evolved. The other two are not. There's no question on picking Charmander. Charizard has the most moves, and the other two stay as first stagers. Squirtle does have those glasses, but it's not going to help us win any fights. Might help us get the ladies, though. Let's just hope Charizard doesn't ignore me like in the show. Mabel's probably like, what? You evolved him already? Oh, look at our boy. Our next promotional fight is Rintaro, and he only has 3 Pokemon, that being the Elemental Monkeys. So I could only bring in 3 Pokemon. Charmander, Pidgeotto, and Bayleaf were the perfect trio to take down this typing triangle. That is, if we could take down this typing triangle. Yeah, this is pretty difficult when I'm limited on our movesets, but by learning how different moves interact, like say Flame Wheel, it became easier to dodge the more attempts I put in. Pidgeotto weakened Simisage for Charmeleon, and Bayleaf dodged a Bubble Beam and eventually takes down Simipour before he can get a Bubble Beam off. And Bayleaf was actually putting in work against Simisage. It's gonna protect. Why did I do that? I don't know why I keep doing that. We got the para through a protect. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Tackle, 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 tackle. It's gonna die to the Ember. Oh, we missed! Good dodge, Bayleaf! Okay, now we body slam. Protected. It didn't protect all the way. Come on, babe! Oh, it was so close. Nice. Dude, Bayleaf came in clutch there. Hype disadvantages don't matter to Ash. What I should have did was electrocute the sprinklers in here. That's what I should have did. After this, Zygarde joinks us on top of a roof to fight this rogue Absol, and we use AZ's Lucario to take it on. But this is actually canon. Ash has a Mega Lucario, so we're not forced to break any rules here. Once that's done with, we gotta fight Tawnie, and guys, this was the most annoyingest thing in the entire run. I could not beat her to save my life. And to be honest, with Lucario, she would have been cooked. But nah, I just had these 3 again. This took me numerous tries to understand what each of her moves were doing and when she used them. She leads a Croconaw, who's a close-ranged attacker. Pignite was the same and was the easiest out of her 3, but as you all know, the problem here isn't them. It's her Mega Manectric. This thing is so powerful for this point in the game, it was the only thing stopping me from winning this fight. It has Spark and all of the Fang moves. And the game auto-saves, so I couldn't just restart and go catch a Riolu. Not that I would've, I didn't know at the time. I had to figure out a way to beat her with just Charmeleon, just Pidgeotto, and just Bayleaf. Eventually I realized the way to win this fight was going to be Charmeleon using Fire Spin to do residual damage to this thing, even if we die. The residual damage would win us the fight as the game forces us to bring Absol for Mega Evolution, meaning that the fight wouldn't end as soon as Charmeleon dies. And I'm not even forced to send out Absol, so I wouldn't be using Absol directly. It would just be assisting me indirectly. So here's the strat. I lead Charmeleon and this baits Aqua Jet, so I switch in on the Aqua Jet to avoid damage. You have to time these switches right to avoid the damage. From there, I switch again into Pidgeotto, who's fast to avoid Croconaw a bit, and then back into Bayleaf to finish it off with another plus Razor Leaf. Pignite is the easiest, as Pidgeotto is way faster than that fat pig, so it quite literally cannot hit us, since even Rollout is dodgeable, as long as I'm not ass at this game. The order of moves Tawnie uses here is Power Up Punch, Rollout, then Flame Wheel, all dodgeable. After those 3 moves hit in that order, we wing attack. Then on the second round, it doesn't rollout, so we have to wait until the third round as the first round repeats itself. We wait for the flame wheel and then roll out, and then we just wing attack, and it doesn't matter if we don't get the range as a quick attack finishes Pignite off. This leaves us super healthy for Manectric. It is really hard to dodge a move for Manectric as soon as it Mega Evolves, since it's always so close to us, so if we can do that or pair with Body Slam or somehow wait for its Mega Evolution to be over with, we can win. And we can do that last one as soon as one of our Pokemon die, as we don't have to switch right away, stalling out the timer. There were a lot of attempts where I was close to winning from the residual damage from Fire Spin, and eventually I realized we just need to lead Bayleaf instead of Charmeleon, and then once Manectric came in, it just relied on luck. We also had to plus Fire Spin, as not only does it last longer, but the radius is much bigger, and Tawnie does not like staying her butt in the fire. Anyways, here's how I won. This is like the only one that's like certain to not hit. We switch in Bayleaf, and now we're at a point where it's just not moving! It's doing an animation when it switches in! What are you doing? It's just fucking flapping its wings! And I can't move out of here, so I have to attack. And I didn't get a para. And I couldn't just... If I could just stall out the timer here, if I knew it was gonna spark, man... It's just too close to me. I think, well, I didn't miss it, but... I got 2 up. I got 2 up before, okay. I got 2 up. Bring her to this one, bring her to this one. Yes, yes, yes! 2 fire spins, yes! I'm fucking Ash Ketchum from Pallet Town. Yo, that took an hour. That was the hardest fight in the game for me, and I'm not even kidding. If the game doesn't force me to use Absol, I don't know if I could win that without restarting the whole game for Riolu. Speaking of which, hello friend, you are my most powerful Pokemon. Screw Pikachu. And it's funny, he only gets Bullet Punch and Aura Sphere for the entire game, but somehow he's still goated. I instantly raised its friendship by just sitting on a bench with everyone for days, and in 10 minutes, he was mine. I also got Gibble, although he was going to be pretty useless as Ash loves not evolving things. And although difficult, I ended up catching the Alpha Krokorok in here as well. I can't use it right now, but the size difference is worth it. Crook actually has a decent moveset, so finally, someone with a lot of moves. Well, at least Gibble can be somewhat useful. Our next promotional fight was going to be Vinnie, so in order to gain more EXP to level up, I decided to get more colorful screws to level up my red Canary plush. And in doing so, I found this quest where apparently we try to beat Froakie's time getting to the top of these construction sites. And I just knew that this Froakie would join my team if I completed this quest. So I beat him in all 3 races, which is funny because this last one I had literally just got a colorful screw from, so I knew how to do it perfectly. And yeah, I was correct. Froakie joins our team super early in the game. This was fate, and I had no idea that this was even a thing. I thought we were gonna get Froakie all the way at the end game. Welcome to the team, Froakie. Mine is speed nature, but I still love you enough to turn you into Ash Greninja. Of course, we immediately evolve him into Frogadier, and I swear anything that does the Naruto run just has straight aura. I'm talking about you, Emma. Anyways, I continued on maxing out my Canary plush, and before I took on Vinnie, I really wanted Gengar. So I hit my Australian lover up, RJ, so he could evolve him for me. And this guy just straight up trolls me and sends me an Ampharos in a Premier Ball. My favorite Pokemon, shiny, and in my favorite Pokeball. Goodbye, friend. I loved you for the 30 seconds I had you. Thanks to RJ, Gengar was ours, and now I can continue on to Vinnie. But just a quick mention, Gengar looks so amazing with his colors back. Please, guys, let's keep the saturation in Gen 10. I beg you. Vinnie leads a Houndoom as I lead Lucario, but I butchered this so hard and got him killed to fire spins by trying to avoid attacks. Either way, good old Pikachu saved the day, which is perfect because Sharpedo was in next, who just dies to a Thunderbolt. And this was a much more fair matchup for in-game Pikachu. I mean, it literally killed us. But Charmeleon was able to flamethrower it, and Drampa was the only Pokemon left. So before he switched into it, I got in Gengar for free. We did get glared, but thankfully Ash's Gengar gets access to the move Dazzling Gleam and Ice Punch. Unfortunately, we were just shy of the KO, but Charmeleon was still kicking, so yet again we come out of a very close fight in Ash fashion. You did good, buddy. You deserve that flamin' hot coffee. Vinnie gives us some backstory after this, and then Naveen gives us some insight on our next promotional fight, which I just don't need as Ash is a go with the flow type of trainer, if you know what I mean. Now before we could fight Canary, we had to take on our true first rogue. rogue, Slowbro. And Bayleaf was actually doing some work with Razor Leaf again. I mean, the dinosaur's kind of slow, but so is Slowbro, so it wasn't too bad. Until you realize Pikachu didn't struggle at all, and I should have just let him in the first place. I just wanted to show Bayleaf some love since he's eventually going to be rendered useless. Camera up, despite having our newly found Frogadier, was pretty difficult. Water Pulse wasn't plus yet, and our frog was taking way too much damage. And this is why I brought Gibble, just in case. Okay, Gibble didn't really do anything, and I even tried to save him a couple times, but I just wanted him to shine, and he just didn't. Is that a crime? The good news was I did have Mega Lucario as well as plus Aura Sphere. And not only that, but Lucario is so fast it keeps up with me in battle while I'm running, so he can just dodge Camera Up's moves all day long. That is if I don't do something stupid like send him to attack, as this thing straight up combusts in his face. It was a long and drawn out fight as this health bar was not going down fast enough, but in the end, Bayleaf somehow was the one who took it down. It just wasn't dying. Good job, Bayleaf. The final rogue out of the three was Victory Bell, and thank Arceus, this one was quick thanks to Charmeleon's Fire Spin. From here, we take on Zygarde in battle, meet Lysandre, who we've already met. Apparently, you're the first villainous leader I've defeated in battle. I don't know if that's a feat or straight up embarrassing on both our parts, but nice to meet you, I guess. Then we just destroyed Naveen in a Pokemon battle, get another challenger's ticket, and in no time, Charmeleon was ready to evolve. Please don't burn my face off. With that evolution came Flamethrower, meaning we finally had a reliable fire type. But it's funny, Charizard's only flying type move is Wing Attack, and we straight up do not get that move in this game, along with some cool fighting type moves. Ah, who cares, it's a Charizard. I also evolved Pidgeotto into Pidgeot, as well as Frogadier into Greninja, who might be smoking that good stuff if you know what I mean. And on to the topic of moves again, Ash's Greninja doesn't get a single dark type move. No wonder Ash lost almost every league he was in. You're not evolving your Pokemon, and you're not using stab moves? I mean, what do you expect? With all that settled, we take on Canary's quiz to see if we are her biggest fan. And I can tell you right now, we're not. Ash is more of a Serena type of guy. The level cap for Canary actually lets us use Crook, which lets us destroy Canary's super fan, and on we go to meet this so-called Canary. But first, we have to take on her grandpa, who's been posing as Canary for these quizzes. Not gonna lie, how do you even have the time to do that stuff with a whole construction company on your hands? Shout out to Gramps. It's a little weird, but hey, everybody's got a hobby. Terragon only has 3 Pokemon, and this is the point of the game where Bayleaf is straight up just not living anything. But being a ground type specialist, I brought Greninja to take on his first 2 Pokemon. If it wasn't for X-Scissor, he might have been able to take out his third. Mega Excadrill is scary, but by being quick on my feet and also Lucario being quick on his feet, we were able to Aura Sphere it before it even burrowed under the ground, which probably would have killed us. And with Gramps defeated, we can finally battle Canary, who has 4 Pokemon. The first battle with Canary, of course, didn't go so well. I'm basically down a team member thanks to Bayleaf, and I took too much damage. Also, if I had just attacked with Gengar, I might have been able to finish off the Electros. The second fight, however, was much more manageable. By using Mega Evolution, as soon as a trainer attacks you, you can avoid damage entirely. And Heliolisk just happens to have Bulldoze. Why does it get Bulldoze? I have no idea, but it does, and we just ignore that so that Mega Lucario can destroy that thing. I wouldn't be surprised if they gave it that move just to deal with the Lucario. With Stunfisk out next, I swap in Gengar thinking Ampharos would come out, so I had to switch in Bayleaf, who thankfully has a good type matchup against this ugly thing. And as soon as Ampharos comes in, I switch in Lucario as that Mega is still up, and he's very fast to avoid most, if not all of the Sheep's attacks. Still don't know how Lucario didn't die here, but with that, Electros was her final Pokemon. And I still had Krokorok and Gengar in the back. Krokorok can easily dodge crunches and is immune to electric type moves, and just like that, he picks up a KO. Wait, a female having a crash out against Ash? Would you perhaps like to join my team and travel the region together? As a reward for Krokorok winning that fight for us, we evolve him into straight Aura, Crook. Damn, you're huge. And with more wild areas opening up, we go catch a Snorunt as Ash had a Glalie, who I'm just glad gets access to the move Ice Beam. I also ended up catching a Heracross, but to be honest, Heracross's moveset is abysmal, so yeah, I never used that thing. Hawlucha was another Pokemon I could catch at this point, although maybe I could have caught it sooner, but I did manage to find it Alpha, so after multiple attempts of trying, we got it. And with Wild 11 opened up, I could finally give Gengar one more move, as the only one I had up until this point was Dazzling Gleam and Ice Punch. Wild Area 13 had X-Scissor, and that's one of the 2 moves that Hawlucha gets in the anime that we can use, the other one being Flying Press. Yeah, he's pretty chalked. At least he can Naruto run. Finally, we got access to Rotoglide, and just by farming some shards in the rain, I ran into a Goomy of all things on accident. But hey, it's another Alpha, and although I did catch another Goomy before this, I can't pass up on an Alpha. Pikachu, you might not be doing much, but thanks for being my best pal. This isn't a dog situation where if you drink caffeine, you'll die, right? I sure hope not. At level 40, I finally got Talon Talonflame and Steel Wing was finally in our arsenal, and he was actually useful for Hawlucha. I'm just kidding, he got stomped on. At least Pikachu got the finishing blow with Thunderbolt. Honestly, I could see Ash using a Hawlucha Knight. These rogues weren't too bad, but they're just very repetitive, especially on a second playthrough. So let's move on to Ivor, who gets distracted looking for his sister Gwen. Hey man, I'm on a tight schedule. Let's hurry this up. I'm trying to explore the entire region in a month. Now remember how I said Mega plural? Yeah, I will be using one more Mega, and I'm sure you can guess who it is. Ash only had one Mega, yes, but technically he had two. Ash Greninja is totally a Mega in terms of stats, and if anything, Mega Greninja is even weaker than Ash Greninja, so I'm going to allow this, and I'm sure you guys won't care. Tomato, potato, or whatever. So literally just before the season ended, I grinded up to rank K, which to be honest, was a lot easier than I thought it would be. I mean, I didn't even have competitive Pokemon, and I'm sure it's just because I didn't have competitive Pokemon, but I don't think I like competitive. Either way, with our Greninja, we can now get this universe's version of Ash Greninja. Honestly, I didn't see this in my first playthrough. I like the touches with her baby pictures. Anyways, to find Ivor's sister, we confront Canary, and no joke, this fight went the exact same as the last one. Carbon copy. With that, I evolved Snorunt into Glalie, and during this mission, we get access to the sewers, where there's another encounter waiting for us, Noibat, whose moveset also sucks, but I mean, we gotta catch them all, am I right? Once we get to the end, we take on Gwen, who was a straight pushover in her first fight. It helps that I have Ash Greninja, but still. And you can tell her and Ivor are related because this was also a cakewalk. Aside from Phalanx, who almost finished my team off. And with Ivor defeated, we can evolve Noibat into Noivern, and even Goomy into Sliggoo. I basically had to get Dragon Claw, as it's the only move Noivern learns that has stab, but thankfully there's other Pokemon on Ash's team that learn this move. We start the Rust Syndicate stuff after this, first taking on Felipe, who is no match for Mega Lucario or Charizard. I did try to use Pikachu against his Mega Skarmory, but ultimately Pikachu is fading fast. Have a calm, rational discussion at the Rust Syndicate headquarters. Should be easy with Misty out of the picture. You are not intimidating, Corbeau. Have you met Tobias? That dude has a Darkrai on his team. Of course, we're happy to repay Tawnie's debt with the Mafia, but Ash ain't no simp trying to shell out money for a girl he just met. Hell, he never even got Misty a new bike. Someone mentioned in my last video that Barbaracle was a water fighting type, and I didn't know that because I wasn't looking stuff up for my first playthrough, but his Mega makes a lot more sense now. I still think it's cursed, but it's good to know as I brought Pokemon that were strong against fighting. I don't know how I didn't figure this out. It literally started punching me. And could someone tell me how this hit me? It didn't even touch me. Mega Lucario is broken. Barbaracle wasn't even a rock type, and he was still doing loads of damage. Mawile was also done no problem, and before we can take on my pride and joy, we take on Gwen a second time. And Gengar was not playing around with Shadow Ball, which by the way, I got from a TM after obtaining Rotoglide. Everything was going smooth until my Gengar missed the KO on her own Gengar. Gwen, would you want to trade Gengars? This fight was far from being lost though, as I still had Crook in the back with Crunch. As for Ampharos, I was able to use Glalie due to that added dragon typing, but without plus Ice Beam, we were doing nothing. So unfortunately, I had to opt to using Sliggoo, which I'm so glad I did, as he was putting up a decent fight with his plus dragon type moves. Honestly, I think he could have finished this fight off if I didn't lure this Dragon Pulse straight to him. That was totally my fault, little one. After all those odd jobs done for Rust Syndicate, we find out Corbeau himself is our next promotional fight, and in resetting for Rain to evolve Sliggoo into Goodra, something special happened. I just heard a shiny. Hold on. Hold on. I literally just heard a shiny. Very faint. Oh, man. No. You guys heard that. Oh, it's the Flabébé. Flabébé. I think this is my first shiny of this save file. Ash did not have a Flabébé, but I mean, I could bend the rules for Florges. No, I can't. Although I do wish Noctowl was in this game to shiny hunt that for Ash. That's so nice. Dude, how big is this thing? Oh my god, you're gargantuan, dude. So do you just like constantly drip that goo? And if you do drip that goo, what is that goo? Ash is asking all the right questions. With Goodra finally evolved, we fight Corbeau. Corbeau! Corbito! Why are you jumping, bro? Crocodile! Go! Crocodile! Use your dig attack! No. Oh, we got toxic. Oh, that's great, though. Wait, hold on. Crunch that bitch. Okay, now Dragon Claw. It should be Gyarados. Nice. Okay, now we just need to Thunder Shock. I don't think I needed to plus that. Wait, I did go Quick Attack. That didn't kill with a plus. Psychic. Oh my god, Pikachu, you're so bad. Psychic again. It has Shadow Ball. Now we got Sludge Bomb. And it didn't kill? Are you kidding me? Yo, we got creamed. Granted, Pikachu should not have did that. Go, go, go before it does anything. Good, good. Oh my god, that's great. Don't gunk shot. We're gonna wait this out a little bit. Oh, it's doing so much. Charizard. Yo, I actually thought we lost that fight. Wait. Dude, Fire Spin is such a good move. Charizard listened at the right time, and I appreciate that, buddy. Eating dinner is not the same. It's just not the same as with Brock and Misty. The game takes us next to battle Lyta, as well as Naveen, but their teams were so horrid that it's really not important to show at all. So instead, I head to Jacynth's party looking dapper as Ash does, and Serena just called? Yeah, Jacynth, we gotta go. Thanks for having us. I take on 3 more rogues following that slight disruption of an event, and Glalie with Ice Beam was super useful for Altaria as he had ranged attacks. He still didn't live until the end, but he took more than half of this Cloud's health. And as much as I love Venusaur more than the other two, you can't deny that Charizard just wins this fight no matter what, especially with Fire Spin, and especially since Venusaur has no thick fat in this game. Since we left Jacynth's party to take a phone call with Serena, we're confronted by her crazy assistant. I do have 6 Pokemon in my party, but don't worry, I still only used 4. If we bring him over here, it might not be able to Earthquake us. Okay, we got it. And then now we're gonna go Glalie for Garchomp. Oh, that Swords Dance did nothing for you. Double team. How did you not hit? What? Shadow Ball. Oh, shit. Okay, we got it. Oh, gosh. Over in Wild 15, I found a Larvitar on the roof, and while I was never going to use this little guy, Ash did own one. It did take a good while to catch since it wouldn't turn around, but once that was done, I went around the map just catching a bunch of Pokemon, completing my research tasks, and some TMs are locked to Mabel's research, Iron Tail being one of them for Pikachu. In doing so, I ended up finding another shiny, this time being a shiny Magikarp, so I'll add that one to my collection. By filling more of the decks up and catching certain types of Pokemon, we were able to get Sludge Bomb at level 32, which is huge as it's the only way Gengar can get a poison type move since he doesn't learn it through level up. I needed this move since Jacynth rocks fairy types. Speaking of which, we can go back to Richissimi Hotel, which I'm just realizing it's called Richissimi or whatever because, well, only the rich stay there. And I'm also realizing we can fight Canary 3 times in this game, which is just so unnecessary. Since the cap is level 59, we pub stomp all of these chumps with ease. It also helps that none of them have Darkrai or Latios on their team, but I digress. And before we can take on Jacynth, Zygarde needs to test our strength, and clearly we were not worthy as this thing is so freaking tanky. But on just the second attempt, Glalie almost did it all by himself by getting a super lucky freeze on him. If he would have KO'd that, it would have been so hype. But alas, Glalie falls short once more. Jacynth has 5 Pokemon, so I bring these 5 with me. She leads a mere Carbink, and Crook easily digs the gem, dodging a Moonblast on the second one. Mawile follows, and Crook almost does it to that as well. However, Charizard did have to burn it with its flamethrower. Since I know Aurorus was coming out next, I got in Lucario for free to Mega Evolve, since both our moves are quad effective, so that wasn't an issue, and this easily lets Lucario do tons to Gardevoir, but I'm actually surprised he didn't win this 1v1. But it really doesn't matter, as I still had 3 Pokemon left. In the end, it was Clefable and Charizard, but Charizard just couldn't do damage to this specially defensive beast. But you know who could? Our off-brand Charizard, Talonflame. With Steel Wing being super effective, we were damaging Mega Clefable a lot. If she hadn't protected, Talonflame would have made the history books. But of course, we're Ash Ketchum, and it just had to end on my last Pokemon. This time being Gengar, which we didn't even need Sludge Bomb for. Anything would have won this battle for us. After a good night's rest, the team meets up in the lobby where Tawnie is convinced she's going to be the one to save the city. But Tawnie, this isn't your show. I'm the main character, you know. But as we've seen before, Tawnie just doesn't give a single f. It's time for our 3 final rogues of the game, and Dragonite reminded me I still haven't caught a Dratini for Ash. So I go do that real quick and gather Mega Shards to level it up fast. And in doing so, again, we run into another shiny. Just a Weedle chilling in the tree. I can't believe I'm running into so many shinies. Anyways, I evolve Dragonair as soon as I have enough candies, and Dragonite's moveset isn't too bad. I mean, it could be better, but at the very least, they're very powerful moves. I then went to go snag the TM for Stone Edge as Crook gets that move in the anime, as well as Hyper Beam, which Dragonite can learn. The only one of the last 3 rogues who was difficult was Dragonite. It sends out Hurricanes with a wide radius as well as a bunch of lightning. The best thing I could do here is just return my Pokemon, but I thought of it when it was too late. What are you doing, Dragonite? What are you doing, Dragonite? He's just getting what the fuck? He just ran into the tornado. Eventually, I got used to just returning my Pokemon as soon as it ults. And again, I should have just led Goodra, as it was doing way more to this thing than any of my other Pokemon. In the end, it didn't even die. I just sent in Gengar to get some action in. With the Rogues finally defeated, we continue discussing who's going to be the chosen one to save the city. And Tawnie's crazy if she thinks, wait, hold on, am I getting a call? May. Tawnie, you could be the chosen one because I'm the chosen one for a different reason tonight. We find out our final promotional fight is Grisham, so we go investigate with Emma to find out who this Grisham is. But obviously, we already know. Pikachu's got great detective skills, so I'm not sure why we need Emma's help. Either way, before she can help us, she challenges us to another battle. She brought down not only Ampharos, but Mawile as well. As for Lopunny, Lucario Aura Spheres it, and I swear every time someone has a Pokemon I have, theirs is always better than mine. Am I just not raising my Pokemon with love? Pikachu did hate me at first, and I only just met these guys hours ago. Alright, Charizard, that was a bit overkill, don't you think? I said lightly burn him, not disintegrate him. I guess he really isn't listening to me. Mega Malamar was her last Pokemon, and not only did she knock out Charizard, but Crook too. So it was to no one's surprise, down to the wire with my last Pokemon, Dragonite. And Hyper Beam didn't KO from where Emma was at, but somehow, by the graces of Ash Ketchum, its Night Slash didn't finish Dragonite off, and we come out on top with a big Dragon Claw for the finishing blow. Always down to the wire. I'm really playing this part to the fullest. From here we find out Grisham is the barista in the truck, but we knew that the entire time, and he's a part of the old Team Flare. He wants to show us ancient history about Team Flare, but before that we gotta fight his girlfriend, Grissel. Grissel starts off with a Talonflame, which is perfect for Alpha Crook, as Stone Edge crushes the Firebird in one blow. Metagross does come out next with Ice Punch, but thanks to Dig being a useful move in this game, we can dodge that and do just under half to Metagross. From there, our Crunch just doesn't take it out, and we take more damage than we need to get a Dragon Claw off. After I send in Greninja on a Bulldoze and retaliate with a Water Shuriken to obliterate this Camerupt, and as for Aerodactyl, it did KO Crocodile, but Gengar was able to trade deaths. All that was left was Pyroar, and this time Goodra was doing nothing to Pyroar, but at the very least, we were stalling for time, trading blows very slowly. Got a Para, and that was enough for Dragonite yet again to win us another battle. And that is why you are on the champion team. Of course, Grisham tells us about Team Flare's history and how they were outcasts, blah blah blah. I already have Team Rocket to worry about. I honestly do not care, Grisham. We go through the labs until we reach the main control room, where we learn the juicy intel about what really happened here, and Lysandre tells us that there was another weapon aside from the ultimate one hidden in Prism Tower, which can only be activated by AZ's Floette. So we go speak with AZ to see if all this is true. Not that I, Ash, care at all. I'm just trying to reach the top rank to be the very best like no one ever was in this city. That's all. Saving the city is secondary to me. Anyways, now we must fight Grisham to see who's really worthy of rank A to save the city. But again, I'm just doing this for the rank, so if you really want it, you could save the city, Grisham. Free will is still a thing, you know. My first playthrough with Grisham, I was getting rocked, but since I'm Ash now, there's no way we'd lose. Pangoro is his lead, and of course mine is my Mega, and by Mega evolving right when he attacks, we negate that Brick Break. And since I know the AI uses Protect when I attack, I just Bullet Punch to bait him, and then a nice Aura Sphere one-shots Pangoro. Since Pyro came in, I swapped in Goodra, but then changed my mind for Crook, which was great as we dig avoiding Hyper Voice to do half. A Stone Edge right after finishes the Lion, and T-Tar is in. Since my Mega was still active, Lucario can easily Aura Sphere him. All it costed us was tanking an EQ, which to be honest I didn't think we'd live. As for Salamence, I swapped in Glalie for free. An Ice Beam didn't quite knock it out, making us take a Draco, but to be honest, Glalie ate that and wins his 1v1. Malamar revenge kills, and Lucario did do a good chunk, but ultimately went down. From there I sent out Crook, but realized that was a mistake when I saw that liquidation. And oddly enough, a Dazzling Gleam couldn't take it down. Come on, Gengar, what are we doing? Greninja didn't let us down though, and with Mega Greninja in the back, we negate a Dragon Rush, and since I know it has Protect, I bait Aerial Ace, and then use my Water Shuriken attack. We do take a big Flare Blitz, but retaliate with a Water Pulse, to which he counterattacks with an Air Slash. Somehow Greninja is still standing, and I thought Greninja was done for when I saw Dragon Rush, but the bond Ash has with Greninja is unmatched, as he was able to attack just milliseconds before Charizard, knocking it out before he did us. Greninja is quite literally a ninja. Ash indeed can reach rank A, no problem, and now we just had to prove that we could save the city. You could just tell she's pissed I got rank A before her. Girl, I'm the world champ. What did you expect? And to prove it to her, we decide to battle her to see who's the very best like no one ever was. And I can already tell she's shaking in her boots because she switched her Meowstic immediately upon seeing my Lucario. I also did some switching, like a lot, until I settled on Charizard, who got poisoned, so I went straight back to Mega Lucario. From here, I tried dodging attacks and again failed miserably, but somehow I dished out enough damage and dodged a very crucial Draco Meteor in the end that allowed Lucario to finish Goodra. Her Feraligatr comes out next, and since this Croc is abysmally slow, we can dodge bulldozes all day long, and Breaking Swipe didn't actually kill us. I did attack at the wrong time, but it was so weak by the end of it that Pikachu just electrocuted it to death. I almost met that fate once, or multiple times. As for Avalugg, I swapped in Charizard to immediately get sent to Poke Heaven, and Pikachu met the same fate as Iron-Tail wasn't doing anything to this defensive beast. I needed to save Greninja and Crook in case, so I brought out Dragonite to deal with this, and you'd think this would be a bad matchup, but Dragonite straight up Ultra Instincts and Icicle Crash. We couldn't even see Bro dodge that move. With Avalugg special defense being the equivalent of a wet paper towel, a single Hyper Beam obliterated that thing. Talk about overkill. Krookodile then takes out Meowstic, is what would have been in the script if she hadn't swapped immediately. Stop denying its path to hell. Either way, after a Dig, a Crunch, and a Dragon Claw, we got revenge on this Manectric from all those moons ago, when it was a Mega. And soon enough, that Psychic Cat also met its fate. All that was left was Tawnie's Emboar. And this is my first time seeing Mega Emboar in game, as I did lose my fight in my first playthrough. Definitely the best Mega out of the three. Krookodile did Dig, but after a Flare Blitz, there was no way we'd live another move, although it was definitely close as we both used Stone Edge in sync, but unfortunately Crook just didn't have enough strength to take it down with him. That would have been so epic. You can rest now, Crook. But I still have Ash Greninja in the back, and by negating that Thunder Punch, Emboar was toast. Tawnie, you tried. I'll give you that. With Tawnie defeated, she decides not to be a woman of her words and still goes up with Floette to save the day, but ultimately needs saving because again, this is my story. I'm Ash Ketchum from Pallet Town, and I will always be the chosen one. So after a tedious and brutal run with a bunch of aggro rogues and some gardening, me and Zygarde take on Angie Floette. Mega Evolve and everything, and I could totally see this happening with Ash in a movie. Of course, we take down Angie, saving Tawnie. And not even a single thank you, by the way. I mean, I get it, AZ died, guys, but he was no Professor Oak. Now, yes, Ash can beat Legend ZA, but I still need to catch every one of his Pokemon in the game, starting with Scraggy in this alleyway, and they all started chasing me. I know we're in Paris, but chill, guys. Next up was our remaining starters, as we can get them since they spawn in Wild Zone 20. This would be Squirtle, Totodile, Bulbasaur, and Tepig. I did evolve Tepig into Pignite, and I'm so sorry I couldn't use you. You were missed. I promise. In fact, I wish I could have used all of you, but this is not the game for unevolved Pokemon. I love how everybody's so active here, and then there's you. Bruh, you didn't even battle anybody. How are you tired?